Welcome back everyone to Let's Play Shadow Empire. This is episode number 16 in the preview, the first preview series. We're still on the beta copy, obviously, and that's actually the first thing I want to talk about is this is version 0.98Q. That doesn't really matter. Basically, that should showcase, though, that we've come a long way since the beginning of the series, which was 0.98B as in Bravo, and this is Q as in Quebec. So this is a pretty significant advance of versions, and so far I have, Vic does a great job, VR Desigins, the developer, does a great job making everything save game compatible. However, at some point you just start missing out on so much content. It's no longer a preview of what's going to be released. It's just a look at one of the old beta versions. So this has actually been mentioned in the comments, I think. By the way, I've been very bad. The last week I've been just really, really bad at keeping up on comments. And even doing this recording, this is coming out a day later than I expected. I tried to record this last night, and I was pretty much falling asleep during the recording, so I couldn't, in any meaningful way, I could not. I could have posted the episode. I did a 35-minute recording, but it was full of yawning, and I was not really happy with the quality of it. From that perspective, things worked out well. I hope actually we get the same luck in this one, but who knows. Now, so eventually we're gonna have to switch to a new series. We're gonna have to start a new series. I think people are kind of looking forward to that. What I'd like to do is kind of bring some resolution to this one. So I'd like to maybe take this city, get some stabilization going. One good point that somebody mentioned to me in the comments. So again, I'm reading the comments. I'm just finally slowly catching up. Is that if we increase the size of these towns, this is a very good point. I knew it, but I never considered it. So if we increase the size of these towns, they also suffer some quality of life. Basically, the quality of life that you have in your cities, in your assets, no longer, your city kind of expects a certain minimum level of quality of life entertainment, quality of life health, etc. the bigger it gets. Which means to say that the same level of assets will not provide you with the same benefit. So in that sense, it's good not to upgrade for a little bit. I don't know how that works exactly. If they ask you every turn, if you can go to the governor and call them and ask them if we can upgrade the city. So there it is, upgrade city. So that looks like what we'll have to do is just say no at first and then later upgrade. But we probably should not upgrade. Now getting back to the version point, we will need to restart at some point, and I just want to maybe capture Minos, maybe capture Caliban range. It's cut off here, Fog of War. And I don't know, I say the idea I would have in my head is to maybe go to war with Picard just to test them out, but I don't really want to. It's not that it's certainly possible, but from a role-playing standpoint, we're in such good relations with Picard that they don't make for a natural enemy. Now one of the big changes that keeps me on 0.98Q, even though 0.99 is already out, is a change with the railways. So right now, one railway is the same kind of as a truck station and provides some blossoming of logistical points outward. And right now, we don't have a rail station yet. Should be built probably in 2 more turns because of this penalty with the administrative strain. And one thing I actually can divert. We don't have the. We might actually have the resources to do it this turn. Let me see if we do. Let's build a dirt road. Yeah, well, we can't build this all the way to connect it yet, but we will eventually want to connect it to Flag Peak. And then this resource can actually be acquired by Flag Peak, which will remove the administrative strain it's creating for Pacifica. So we'd like to do that. This video will likely be laced with interruptions, but we'll just have to push on. So anyways, I'd like to get a road all the way up to Flag Peak so that this could be dedicated to them, but we'll have to do that next turn since we have a few errant troops in the way, and this will all be ours as soon as next turn this is designated my territory, and we'll have some more riots and stuff to crush, I guess. And these units, this actually has suffered some losses, which if I was, monitoring carefully my replenished troops, it's already listed. So we can go ahead and build. Whoops. We can click here to build 2 more, which is how many we were missing, and we're missing 1 motorized as well. Click 1 more, and voila, nothing else we're missing, which is very good to see. And then thankfully the Supreme Headquarters is going to take care of delivering those troops to the necessary units. Okay, so that's I think all we want to do for this turn. Just keep in the back of our mind that we're gonna. I want to push on it for as long as I can. I may even update to 0.99 and see how it impacts. Open up maybe a test game and see how it impacts logistics in a game which is coming from a previous save game. Because Vic has done a very good job with save game compatibility, as I mentioned, but some things just don't affect your new games until you start a new game. And hopefully this whole rail system is part of it, but I'm not sure. I do want to correct something I said about spotter drones. They increase spotting. It's actually not even modeled that way. It's modeled that they just increased the attack ability of artillery. So can you even choose? Yeah, so apparently you can choose any unit, but as we'll see, these really only have an impact on artillery. So guns or artillery get double their attack points, which is going to be extremely useful, obviously, for our artillery groups. So I'll probably end the turn here. There's not much more. We did most of our movement and stuff, and we want all of our people stuffed into the cities so that they can act as suppressors. So I'll pause here because I am currently showing I'm going to show the AI moves, but I'm not going to stick around for that turn because it does take a while to process, and we'll bring up history when I get back. I'll just hit the end turn so you can see there's nothing going on behind the scene. Oh my, 15 decisions. We're going to have our hands full. Okay, so we captured Costello, which gives us the fate points, gives that land to us. We discovered synthetic fuel. This is really cool. We can convert energy into fuel. So just when we thought, now that we've only discovered this tech, we still have to research it. But this is a Economic Council item. Also got Cloudfire, and this is our rocket artillery and a tank destroyer model. We've operationalized light mechanized armor infantry. That's a great one. We'll see what that is exactly. It's basically a replacement of trucks for APCs, and it's one of my favorite units. 46 metal, 500 credits, 100 metal, 8 machinery, 3 machinery, 257 fuel. This is quite good. Oh, and 400 Galactic Republic grade infantry. So those are going to be really good. Our mid-level has risen to level 3, which is good. And we have 4 new face stratagems. Happy Family is a good one. High-tech vault. Ooh, a treasure trove of rare metals and machinery. So actually not rare metals and machinery. Those are obviously valuable, but I don't usually like getting resources for these. I'd prefer to spend it on tech. Those are not as good actually as I told you I fell asleep trying to record this video, and we actually got some better ones. Some ones which give us a trait that basically increases to research, which would have been much better, but that's fine. So did this get... Maybe they weren't in range. Okay, anyway, so this is now done. I want to switch over, before I forget, zone border here. Now, it's like that. And let's go over to this one and do that. And let's go back to this one and do that so we have a nice even border. I had escape all those little things go away. I probably should report that as a bug. So essentially the asset will now be controlled by flag peak, and well, in order for this to really make sense, we should obviously, build the road all the way up. Okay, good. So now flag peak will connect through there. They do have, I'm pretty sure, at least a truck station. Good, that's basically the minimum that they're going to need. Our other units, if we go back to movement, we want these guys to take care of. I won't leave it the same way I have this one hex down here. And it is true that there's a slight, extremely remote possibility this hex could have... Oh, look, I'll send one guy off to find out if that hex has possibly something we can prospect. So, knowing the future, I kind of actually know where some resources are. There's a radioactive somewhere over here that we are going to wait for prospecting to discover. I think that, as far as I know from Vic, that's not random. It's actually, I might want to push up here. I was going to go conquer that little area there, but might as well be extremely aggressive. 25, 30, does it matter? What's our points at? 50. Doesn't really matter, we'll be able to get back either way. So, oh, we will not be able to get back either way. Okay, fair enough. Agricultural is not 20. Tract. So wheeled, it's 15. 15. Is regular plains grassy 15? It is. Okay, so it takes 15 and that means it's 25. And we only have 20 available, so we can't get back. Okay. So had we moved here, we would have been able to get back. Got it. Would have been exactly all our points. Not a big deal, we'll just get... I mean, I was just trying to get back on the road to be able to travel further next turn. This guy's out of supply. We can probably handle this several ways. I'm going to handle it this way. I wanted to take this one hex. Again, we're just going to start cleaning up some of the OCD type stuff like borders. I do want... So I really want to go get this asset. And I think we're going to end up putting some people out of supply to do this. But it just seems really important to me. So this guy's going to be out of supply a second turn. He has enough... Food is not a big concern, it's just fuel. I can try to assist him as well by building a dirt road, which is also going to help the supply for that unit by building a road this way. We're kind of blowing through our industrial points, but hopefully all for useful things. Just before I do anything, I really should be looking at militia. I mean, the decisions. Militia requires, well, it's 500... Wait. This doesn't require money? Okay, yeah, political points, absolutely. Okay, we'll accept that. We need to appoint an advisor. I don't think an advisor really... I don't think the advisor really needs to be that loyal, because I can always unappoint them. Or they can just sit there doing nothing, which is the worst case scenario, but at least they're not negatively impacting things. So out of all these three, well, actually, let's look at our other people first, because we do have applied science. We're going to need zone governors. Lots of different things here, so we can see who's, you know, most appropriate for what. Because zone governors also don't really need... Yeah, so I will actually decline these so that we more quickly recover. These zones, these city zone cities will be upgraded as soon as we... Nope. As soon as we have the... What is it? Regular zone, forbid pop. I think we want to forbid pop to buy free folk. I mean, look at that. Confirm. I'm going to go ahead and spend more political points for a second on viewing my Pacifica settings. Basically, I need to screenshot this. It'd be really... Oh, maybe it says... allowed? But are they allowed to buy... Yeah, so here's the 4% administrative strain. That should change. If we go to this asset, local hex, this one, if we go to delegate, it should have flag with a star. It does. Good. So now it already switched over. No more administrative strain for Pacifica in the future. That's really good. Going back to Pacifica though, so yeah, we will just one time have to figure out what our stance is. I'm pretty sure I did not allow buying, but let's go ahead and take a look. We also have the General and the Dr. Frankenstein people who eventually we'll have to deal with. No, we do not forbid pop to buy free folk. So is that that doesn't seem right to me. Okay, we will just confirm these orders. I'm setting 14 for my recruit sign up and the other ones just because I'm seeing if that penny pinching has any effect. It's really an experiment more than anything. But yeah, we'll just duplicate those orders everywhere. Okay, food theft and, well, in both of them. So I think we're going to send in the troops to punish the thieves in both cases. I just want to make sure that we have a sufficient... So in Omicron, we have We only have brigades defending the city in Omicron, but we have a thing. Actually, we don't have just. Let me rephrase that. We don't just have battalions. We have a full brigade. Yeah, because the entire brigade, all 5 battalions and the HQ are in Omicron. In Flag Peak, we have 3. They're just called regiments. I'd like to call them divisions. I don't know why, but we have the core HQ and 3 regiments there. We actually probably can even move this one in. I mean, I guess we can move this one in too. My artillery has longer reach, so we may not need to move that one in. But so that is going to help us with the autocracy. Now, this means that we're going to go, unfortunately, pretty strongly on the autocratic side. I think that's just necessary. Like, we have these impossible rolls where we can roll. Our average here is 62. The average here is 150. So it's almost impossible for us to actually roll that. Okay, I could work out the math on the overlap of these two and the percentage of like face base of that. But it's not necessary. We basically already have a good idea from this average, which Vic now nicely includes, that my max here is 112, my average is 150. So it depends on how much the standard deviation is from this, if you can even use that term. It's a uniform distribution with fixed size, and anyway, very unlikely. So we're going to go ahead and send in the troops in Flag Peak, which is where our core is.
We'll go.
We succeeded. Plus 20 fear. We lost 500 troops though, and 600 thieves were killed. So let's take a look at what that meant. I'm pretty sure that means, we're going to need 500 troops. There it is. So we have the 20 of 20 on the artillery. They're just waiting to be put in. And we have the motorized transports. They actually made it. And now we're going to need 500 more of these grunts. We'll just produce them right now before we do anything else. Because in my opinion, getting our troops up to full strength is a higher priority than building roads. Especially because we already have the main roads that we're going to want built. This all looks good as far as zone distribution goes. We covered that zone distribution. Ultimately, we'll have another city, and that will be another zone distribution. Now, in order to get a new city over here, and by the way, I built this road here, but I'm actually a little bit disappointed by my decision in the end, because if we take 6 from here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This metal is perfect, nice, and we already have the border, as we can see. It's already nicely laid out for us. Now 6 from this guy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would be 5 for here. So this is probably the best place for my city, because this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4 away from here, and also 5 away from here. So if this hex is perfectly in the middle of Caliban range and my capital, Pacifica. So I think that this is a better hex for it. Whether or not this metal goes to one or the other doesn't really matter to me. So you know what? I think we will still make the city here, even though it is, the roads don't line up quite as nicely. Maybe I'll make my railway this over here. Although going this way does run into the problematic mountain. I probably will build my railway this way and just avoid that, and the railway will go up here, whereas the road is always going to take this path. And maybe at some point when we're industrial point very rich, we can also build a road connecting it like this. Because this road actually connects this town to this town in the most, the quickest manner. The least number of hexes traversed. But that can happen in any other, it could happen here, here, here. The center points could be, we almost have it. This center point right here could also be accessed. So this is your full range of hexes which can be accessed if your goal is to get to this one in the shortest manner, shortest distance, which in this case is the fastest if they're all roads. Okay, anyways, yeah, so we'll probably build my town here, in which case, yeah, it's actually relevant. We'll start constructing a logistical truck station there. You can't build a city without having some kind of asset there. So we'll go ahead and build it there. And You need to get on the road no matter what you do this turn. Okay, now that we actually already took the losses, I think that I'll put my artillery in here, just so next turn they can start contributing to the suppression. I think I'll move. So now the deal with, what's your name, Minos, is that they are, I think that they're hostile, so we can move in without declaring war, but we're not at war. So it's right now it's just this territory grab, the weird territory grab situation. So we can do something like this, yeah. So we're grabbing their territory, no problem. And we do already have artillery here. Obviously, if I was to build a railroad over here, that would also be good. But I can also get from here to Costello with a railroad. Ooh, oh, it's different. So rail costs 30 IP plus 30 metal a hex. Okay, wow. Pretty interesting that now. I actually really like this. And sealed roads cost less. Maybe, I think that Vic's all, you can see things are just changing. That was in Q already. So they cost metal now. I really like that change. I really like that change. From a balance perspective, I don't think metal rails cost that much metal. It seems like a very limited amount of metal. You just need 2 metal strips. Well, I guess they do run the length of the land. So if you're comparing the metal cost of that to something like a tank, maybe you can't. Maybe it is relevant. Yeah. Anyway, so we got down here and pushing a road to get all the way over to support them. I think that we don't need a road to towns or what are these perks? Hex perk, yeah. We don't need a road to perks. They're just, as soon as they're connected in your zone, they're already part of the zone. Like this viewpoint. These aren't connected things, but they're providing us whatever. Actually, man, Pacifica has a good number of recruits getting on. So let's take a look, by the way, at that order of battle with the... I really like this formation. This new light mechanized armor infantry corps. Should be armored infantry, I think. Light mechanized. I guess this is kind of a redundant... Yeah, light mechanized armor infantry. Anyways, we'll probably... The names of these might all be polished at some point, but you get the idea. And this is... It's a really good unit. So the core for this one is my absolute favorite. Again, it's the same thing, math I've done on camera. It has the highest infantry to armor ratio, which I think is useful. 10 infantry to 18 armor, which to me, really, that is the minimum. You should really only have, at a minimum, you should have, well, in my opinion, it should be equal. It should be 18 to 18, or, let's just make it 20 to 20, but it's not the way it's done. And then this one is a little bit worse. It's 5 to 2. That's why I don't like the brigade sized one. Yeah, so armored is with division. That's why he did that. I see. But anyway, this is my favorite. So we'll probably be building light mechanized armored infantry corps with 5 regiments. It's really good. Nice. And so for that, the light armor, you might want to have some hard capability with it. Hard attack. So that you can deal with armored units if you encounter them, but maybe at that point your idea would be just to send in the armored grenadiers. This is motorized transport. What's this? Armored infantry? So this is... Okay, let's find out what the difference is here. 5 armor... That's not correct. Oh, I was looking at the wrong... The HQ doesn't change, but... Or it does. I guess it increases in armor. But this is... Yeah, 18 armor. It's basically the same thing as that previous one, except for motorized instead of armored transports, and armor instead of medium armor. If we look at the grenadiers, this one is a whole bunch of things. So this one does not have any AT guns, though, so it's not any better against... Oh, it does have AT. It does have 200 RPG, so this is extremely flexible. The master of all, the jack of all trades, is your armored grenadiers. But I think there might be something which is even better. No, I don't like the artillery mixed in. So just the light. So the assault one has the artillery. What about armored core? Yeah, this is just armor. You might do something like that. Just have an armored core running around so you can deal with enemy tanks. We could also just build individual... By the way, I'm spending a lot of time on this because this is so cool. If you don't get interested in it, I love the little you know, all the different independent battalions we can build. So we should have now tanks. Yeah, we can just build an independent heavy tank battalion. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, we could just send a few of those around with our... We could, you know, you can essentially almost add like support units that way. You could have a corps with its many regiments, and then you could have but you can have the independent artillery just essentially not in any order of battle sense, but just physically on the map attached to them, as in moving with them and supporting them. So pretty cool, all the different things you can do. Now with this, we want to move units like this. Just this unit is because we're not at war, and if they want to attack and kill that unit, so be it. But in order to do that, they're going to have to declare war on me first. We have Warsaw there. Let's leave... Well, I would rather not lose the Galactic Republic grade troops. So I might do something like this and move this one here. Infantry I'd like to leave in the town. Okay, let's move this unit out, and let's leave everyone else here in Costello to do any kind of suppression we need. Let's move... We already dealt with the... Oh, no, we didn't. There's food theft and Omicron, which we have to deal with. So probably it's going to be the same thing where we lose some units to the thieves. Now this is actually a little bit better. We have a 150 max versus average 149. And this is where, because your max is close to the average, you would have to ask how big the distribution is. What's the range of the, you know, distribution? It's really strongly does not favor us, so we'll go with the top option still. And we're going to start pushing pretty severely autocratic. We'll probably... Okay, we lost 500 troops, so let's go back over... Who do we need? We got 400 more that need to be added. I could probably just grab like 10 more, which will be a cost of 60. I think we can deal with that. So that we just have some units built in. They're starting to train up and all that. And then we lost some machine guns, not too surprising. I was hoping, in fact, that was the other unit we lost besides infantry. So all the units, we have all the necessary units for replenishing troops next turn. The other ones are going to sit in the SHQ and hopefully just gain some experience, because you can see their battle stars here is 0. So the new troops will train up while they're waiting to be deployed. Hopefully they aren't deployed, because that implies losses, but it's kind of an inevitability. Okay. Yeah, so probably again not a good idea to leave our Galactic Republic troops in here. We'll move those units forward just out of the city. There's not too many of them, just 200. I think it's just general strength, like just bodies. You just need troops, number of troops for the suppression events, I'm guessing. It's just a guess. Could be wrong. Alright, so we can get all the way over here. This will take 58, and then we'll be able to get back a little bit of a ways, at least. Okay, that's probably going to be more out of supply still, unless I want to start building a road that way, but now the question is, how many industrial points do I have left, and where do I want to budget the use of these? I wish I knew where down here a new city or whatever would be. Looks like we have a ruin here, so just having a road run due south seems useful, because it would eventually connect up with this ruin, and that may or may not eventually connect up with a city. Yeah, better reconnaissance down here I feel like is necessary. This is all non-aligned. Okay, what we'll do is we'll start deploying. I know we have a lot of covert operation cards. Let's just start deploying recon to this area, which we know nothing about. We'll also do some here. Hopefully we get 1 or 2 which are doubled.
Affirmative.
Okay, that was almost a minimum roll. It was a 60 something, so 20. It was like basically rolling like a 25. It's not that bad.
Affirmative.
Oh man, okay, speaking of minimum rolls, that's a 17 on the scale of 100. Okay, I don't want to spend too many there. Let's also target this area.
Affirmative.
Again, not getting good rolls. There, we finally got the critical success that I was looking for. We have 1 more spy. I'd like to keep that 1 more spy just for other things, potentially. So yeah, when we move with this one, let's try to move in a way that we can get back. So moving here is actually moving closer at the same time. We can move here for only 13 and then go north. Good. So that unit's going to be in good supply next turn. The only one, unfortunately, of this group. This one's hasn't moved yet. Okay, that's good. 26, 39. So we can move here. This must be low mountains. Yeah, so we're having problems getting there. What do we have? Zadalia. So Zadalia. Okay, maybe it is good that we're, going to scout out Zadalia. 13 does not really inhibit our ability to return. 23 can still go back a little bit of ways. So we'll do that. We actually took a new settlement as well. Okay, let's look at our other decisions. I think at some point we're going to have to do this. Yeah, so here we go. Minos is demanding regular relations. So they want us not to be at war with each other anymore. Unfortunately, in the very near future, I do plan to conquer them, so we're going to go ahead and decline that. We're just going to increase our fist profile. So our profiles are just going to be completely out of whack until we stabilize here, unfortunately. So that's not going to make them happy as well. Now it's back to this old song and dance. What do we want? So we have command rating, IPR, which I forgot, and interpersonal rating. Okay, good. I know charisma is really good for cities. So let's probably put Iona. Let's put an Iona in charge of this city. Is there anybody? Okay, we need a leader for here as well. But yeah, we'll put Iona in charge of the city because she's not a very suitable. Yeah, her intelligence is relatively low. She's capability 4, so really we'd almost want her not to be. But okay, we'll just have her get in charge of the city because she's very well suited for that. A new advisor. So I'm still looking like this Brianna is going to be or Brianna, however you want to say it. It's going to be our choice. It's again the lowest rating. So I think I will appoint her, but let's look at science name base. So command rating is probably better. This might be like a mercenary I picked up at some point. Let's see who has the highest. Ooh, intelligence. So Simon here is, I think he's a good choice for our applied science. Also, you want this advisor to have good relations with you. Let's see what he does. Mine, it's perfect. Can I point him? And 50-50 seems okay to me. Actually, I want to go with research because I really want to start researching the new things we discovered this turn. This is applied science. So what was it? Doesn't appear to be on the list. Maybe the technology is discovered with one thing but researched by another? I don't think so. Synthetic fuel. Yeah, so I want to do synthetic fuel. Huh. It doesn't give me a choice. I would like none of these. Alright. Let's go ahead and work on a tank destroyer. Now, in my mind, when I think tank destroyer, how can you think anything but anti-tank gun? It's an anti-tank. It's basically a mobile anti-tank, mechanized anti-tank unit, right? It's a motorized or mechanized anti-tank gun. Self-propelled anti-tank gun. That's what a tank destroyer is in my head. So we're going to stick on the biggest anti-tank gun we can for 350 weight. And then I'm kind of imagining this more as like a Hellcat or an M10 from World War II, 2 American tanks like that were extremely speedy but had very light armor. Their whole point was to shoot first. So move into position and shoot first. So I'm going to pick the only 25mm steel plating, which should help me still against infantry, but will not help me against other tanks. And we'll give it the best speed we can. So what speed are we at? We're at 665 so far. There's really only one option here. Unless you went like extremely light on the gun and the armor, you can't choose anything but the double diesel. And our tank will actually be a little bit faster since 665 is significantly less than 800. Going back to the Applied Science Council, and so I want to pick whatever here is going to be researched the quickest, but I think that these first 3 options are slow linear progressions. Which means I don't want any of these, frankly. I might have to call up Simon in a future turn and ask him to redesignate his research target. So let me see. let's look at these. Sanitation programs, communication techniques. We've got a lot of different choices here. Sanitation programs. I actually don't see in yellow sanitation. It's very easy for me to miss it, but I'm trying to be a little, it's, you know, the convenient thing is it's only requires me to look at things in yellow. Armor piercing, synthetic fuel, missiles, synchronization, polymer armor, RPGs, sanitation programs. I found it. Communication techniques. These are for applied management. Now this box, notice it doesn't lead anywhere. So it's probably better for me to research advanced chemistry stuff, which will lead to atomics. Also advanced engineering, because this will lead to energetics and atomics. High-tech industry. So maybe there is some more advantages in energetics versus propulsion, electric engines, high-speed rail. Ooh, high-speed rail. That sounds good. And jetpacks. Well, gosh, they both sound really good. What's more realistic? I think advanced engineering is more likely for us to get through first. Power banks, water purification, or deep core mining. If any of those are available, we can start getting going on machinery, which leads to plenty of good stuff. So I'm going to focus on this one first, then that one, and then the rest. So we'll focus first on machinery if I can. Power banks, water purification. I don't think any of those came up, in which case we'll designate none of these. So we'll go for advanced chemistry after all that, probably. But at least we have some kind of flowchart in our brains. Ice mining economization. Ice mining economization. So that doesn't lead anywhere. In fact, we really don't need it either. Okay, so we'll go with... I don't think any of these were options. Oh, serpentization? Was that on the list? It was not. Okay. Okay, I don't understand this list. We'll go for sanitation programs then. Should help quality of life, and right now that seems to be an important factor. News visor, we're still getting back to this. She's really good. If she wasn't like so... Okay, we'll appoint her. And we can just stick her on a team somewhere. Maybe we should attach her to military research. Well, let's get her to attach to Simon for now, since he's new at his job and he may need some assistance in the very beginning getting worked up. Yeah, I feel like that's a good enough decision. All right, any other stuff we want to do? I mean, I think we should just recruit more juniors, since they seem to be in short supply, or at least we're going through them very quickly. Private investment and track free folk. These are good things to do as well. In fact, the archaeological efforts are going to be more useful. I think that we should target, in fact, Omicron here, because it has a lot of areas that we haven't dealt with yet. So let's look at Omicron. We found an archaeological find. Yeah, perfect. Fantastic. Could do that again and continue to see if we get enough luck, but I think we'll hold off there. We may not even want to attract more free folk right now, but I think private investment is very important, so we'll do that. Let's give us 100 or 1,700 credits of investment into Omicron. We also have viewpoints. So this is another viewpoint which I think just has a per turn. Let's do this in Omicron as well. I'm really curious. They probably put it in the mountains, but I'm really curious where that perk was deployed. Please not. Oh my. Okay, I thought that was it. It's not there. Where is it? Oh my god, they put it in the worst possible. The worst possible place. The worst possible place. Holy cow, that's... I should have done this before we began our turn, and holy cow, it's already 39 minutes. Let's at least get to the end of this turn. So high-tech vault. Yeah, again, this is just a goodie box, which I don't feel is worth it. I kind of want to try out the mother load. Why don't we try it? Okay, let's try it here and see what it does. Our mining operations would be +1 levels easier to mine at Hayden. Okay, let's look at Hayden. I don't think this has a huge impact, frankly. Okay, here, mining level went down. up? Is up higher? Is higher worse or better? By the way, mining is down. There's only 10,000 metals left in this. So essentially this is only going to dry. It's going to dry up pretty quickly. It would be nice if maybe the... Shouldn't it increase the reserves? All good questions, perhaps. But anyways, we gotta push forward here. Otherwise, we're never gonna get out of this turn. So let's make sure everyone's done here. I think we have a good solid line. We aren't gonna attack yet, so I would hugely prefer to be able to get some units. I guess I'll put this there. Hugely prefer to get some units to assist my Galactic Republic infantry there, but that's fine. We'll have to make do without, I think. You're going to be back in better supply next turn. Building that. I think we're okay. Assets-wise, we are going to finish, I assume, building the railway next turn. 1.1 left. Yeah, 0.1 left for biofuel. So fuel's in a bad situation, but it will be better next turn. Food's actually not in a great situation. I'm hoping that this, yeah, consumed by colonists and recruits is 193. That's actually pretty big. But otherwise, no, sent to units is 368. So it doesn't look like any was sent to our cities. Looks like it was just consumed. So hopefully, I mean, maybe it might actually need to upgrade this to the next step. I don't know when. Maybe it takes agricultural facility level 2. Let's start the upgrade. We have the points to do it. Maybe it takes level 2 before it starts branching out. I wanted to start taking over this hex and that hex for the farms. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I think that's it. Let's try to go one more turn. I mentioned, I think, that I was falling asleep when I was recording this. I got through the next turn, or at least I got to the next turn in under 40 minutes. So maybe the more tired I am, the less I care about details, and I just pushed on. Anyway, we won't go through the turn replay. I'll just see you back. And back we are. 4 decisions. That's a lot less. Okay. So the Minas Empire has preempted us by declaring war. Fanaticism continues. Ooh, another 400 Galactic Republic grade infantry. More money. More money. Rare metals. That's really nice. And 400 Galactic Republic grade machine guns, which is extremely good. Private investment, we'll use that. Send spy, we'll use that. Trade, probably not. I think we're already trading with... Whoa. Having some glitch here. Back up, move back in, and it solves it. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking here, but it's pretty obvious what we're going to do. Just... Oh, yeah, there's the machine guns, too. So we'll cut these guys off, and then we'll start the Siege of Minos. Unfortunately, I think a lot of their units are now in there. We don't want to do too much. I mean, we can just blow the crap. Let's take a look at how much ammunition this uses, knowing that ammunition, we can at least afford it right now. But this is going to be absolutely devastating. Yeah, we can even move this infantry forward if we want to use more irregular artillery. I don't think we do, honestly. I think we want to even avoid using theirs, because I wonder why this unit has less than full hit points. Okay, we'll use it. No, let's not. Let's do this more. I think we're already going to have overkill on this. Recon points is only 102, so what I'll do first, I'll move my jump pack closer. And there we have a little bit better recon, 129. That's actually really good. I think we'll move in here with the machine guns, since those are useful. Move in here. I'm counting my chickens before they hatch, but I'm assuming that we're going to destroy this unit. So, we'll do that bombardment, see what happens. Oh, let's go to the graphic. Killed one. Probably going to get all of them to retreat. Round 5, we're done. Nope, found another one. Caused that one to retreat. Down to 16 strength. A farming community is in that hex. Thank God it survived. It's probably not doing very well. Ooh, yeah. 1,200 points. Okay. So it will be 100% certain loss at 1,200, but it probably can be lost anytime it's over the inoperable range. I don't know if it's a linear scale or what it is. Who can still attack? Let's take a look at our decisions. Do we have more? Yeah, petitions and Costello. That's what I thought. Okay, we can do nothing and just let the unrest build. That might not be the worst situation. Let's see how are our cities doing anyways. We have 36 unrest here, very low. It's not that bad. Not that bad. 14 unrest here, 17 fear. Again, not that bad. It's mostly dropping due to high unrest. Diminished by 9 due to the troops. Oh, that's so helpful. It's extremely good. So yeah, well, we actually have more people in Castello than we do in Flag Peak by 30%. And so they're going to suffer some problems until unrest drops there. Since we're just comparing cities with unrest, let's go ahead and go over to Omicron. Unrest here is still at 30, even though it dropped, diminished with 20 points due to fear. So fear does help you in this sense, and that's why using the autocratic measures, it has two negatives. One, it brings fear, and two, it drops your it increases your autocracy. But the positive side of all that is fear ends up limiting your unrest. Because you don't want to go out. If you think you're going to get shot if you go out and protest, you have that fear, you're not likely to go out and protest. Okay, here's our Galactic Republic, infantry way over there. I actually want this one to go over here, because it can go into the mountains, actually. So we'll send him this way. He's going to be out of supply for a turn, but he'll be back in supply after he gets over here, so hopefully he can do that by one turn. You have your full movement points. Let's take 52. I think that's going to be acceptable, and then move you back. Perfect, perfect. So that's not too bad. You have your full movement points, so you can move, kind of just keep bouncing forward, and then move back, so you continue to be in perfect supply. Yeah, probably don't want to move with this unit. 91 if we did that. There's the radioactives. We did get that. That's quite nice. Maybe I could just send this guy all the way around. He was yellow. How yellow is yellow? Mostly it's a fuel issue, but I think once we get here, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, it won't be... He'll be out of supply for kind of like one turn. So we'll do this, push the border a little bit, and then reconnect back on the other side, or maybe do something like this, push that border. As soon as we're close enough to the road, we won't have to worry about that. In fact, this unit right here is already doing what I was thinking about doing. Yeah, we'll do that, just to finish up the border. Very good. We also want to move over here. Can this tank? Nah, the mountains are cutting us off from really being able to move that way nicely. We can go park on our town where our future city will be. In fact, I do want to showcase that. I know that this episode's running long now, so we'll probably have to just call this to a close here. You can see how things are nicely, slowly progressing. It's always slowly with Tortuga. I will speed up. I'm sure that the second series on this will be a lot faster, because this is, again, my first series on the game. Not my first playthrough. I've done like 12 or 13, but this game is so complicated. There's so many little details, little things that I'm now doing fluidly. It actually took me days to learn because the game's very complicated. So you may not be experiencing, because I'm already like playing at a slightly, not expert level, but a more experienced level. You're not witnessing a lot of the original pitfalls that a player has when they start playing the game. Which is good. I mean, that's what I'm here for, is hopefully making everyone else's life easier. And I'll probably have a tutorial series on this pretty close to soon after, if not just about at the release time. And that's going to happen pretty soon. We're expecting some kind of June or summer release. So, okay, that'll conclude this video. So until the next one, thanks for watching and take care.